Hi, this is Deb with Pinecone Press Design, and welcome to our Fall is in the Air. Yay! After a crazy hot summer, we are ready for some fall. So first, let's talk about show specials. So for this segment, we are going to be doing free freight on orders just over $50. That's a nice deal, because a kit or two will put you right there over at $50. And with every order, we're going to include a free Pinecone press blank. Now, you don't have to enter any codes for the free freight, or you don't have to do anything of saying that it's like, yes, we want the free blank. Automatically, the website set up that it will give you that free freight over $50. And with every order, we are just going to put in a free one of our chipboard album blanks. So for those of you that have ordered our little craft along kit, that we will get to this in the second part of this presentation. But for those of you that did not order the craft along kit, what we're going to be doing is we are creating this Fall is in the Air album, and this is with the new G45 collection. So the way all of Pinecone Press kits come is they come with the bagged up here. So you will get your full colored instructions. Now this kit happens to be created with both the 8x8 paper and the 12x12 paper. So you will get your 8x8 paper pad. You'll get a few sheets of the 12x12 paper. We're wanting to put in a couple sheets of this accent of the deep red to match some different some of the word graphics in that. Then you will get your inside pages for your album. They are not pre-punched, so you have a template punching guide here, so that after you have completed your pages, then you can go ahead and punch them through. It's nice to have the template too, so that you can mark your pages so that you don't get your photos too close to the edge where those are. Then we have some beautiful ribbons here that kind of just all coordinates with this kit. We have used a low temp heat gun that we have shriveled the ribbons, and you have two different sets of ribbons. You have one set that you have duplicates of each of the three colors, because that will be adhered to the inside front and the inside back. Then you have ribbons to accent your album. And then we've got some tinsel twine and some other twines that we're going to wrap around the album cover there. So we will get, oh, and always with all the Pinecone Press kits, you get the full colored instructions. So we give you the cutting guide, and then we step out and show you each page of what it's going to look like, and if there's any flaps that open, what it will look like with the flaps open. So that is just kind of the basics of a Pinecone Press kit, and we will get to this, like I said, a little bit later into our presentation. But as you can see, that this the craft along is just a beautiful album. This is an 8x8 album. So some of the other things that we will let's look at is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice album. Now Starbucks is going to be announcing their, well, I think they just sneak peeked with the fall menu, but it is available, I believe, in the next few days. So, and this is just a really fun album that kind of just sums up your fall time of sweet treats and desserts. Or if you don't want to have a recipe card, you can just go ahead and put a photo over top of that and make that a matted photo that can slide into the pockets. If you have some fall favorite recipes, via alcoholic or non-alcoholic, it's really fun to put the recipes all down here, and then you've got a place to keep all your fun fall recipes. So now this is a 6x6 album. You've got your glassine pockets to hold your recipe cards in it, and just all kinds of fun pumpkin spice treats and lattes and all kinds of fun things for the fall time. This is 6x6, and it's a curved back spine album, whereas our fall kit is 8x8. And boy, that 2 inches really does make a big difference into the albums. Now, both of these are the rib back spine album, which is nice because you see all the details of the ribs, and they can be painted, ink, stain, painted and inked like we did on the fall album. But with this album, you get all of the papers, the 6x6 album, all the different colors of the raffia to accent your pages with. So, now, if you want to say thanks a latte to some of your favorite friends, we have our slider accent cards, and they will make, we have 4 or 5 different latte type cards. So sweet and spicy, and then I'll say thanks a latte, thankful for friends, for you. But now with the slider card, what these are is that this is how the card comes, and you will get a package of the blanks, the slider blanks, and then 4 accent sheets so that you can decorate the cards themselves. So a little bit of fussy cutting. And how the slider gift card holder works is that you take, when you pull out the one edge, the other edge just pops out. So you can write a little sentiment, a message. The accent sheets have a little sentiment with them, and then you can put a gift card, attach that onto one of your pullouts, or you could attach 2 gift cards onto it. But it's just a really fun little gift card when you're giving that to somebody. Like I said, I think there's 4 or 5 different fall time ones of the thanks a latte for all that you do. I said we're thankful for friends and fall, sweet and spicy. And then there are some really fun other ones. If you want to giving gift cards, is some gasoline featured gift card accent papers. But there's about 30 different slider accent papers on our website. You see, fall time, sometimes you just might want to just do a little fun fall album. This is one of our 4x6 chunky albums, and it sounds like it might be small in size, but boy, you can certainly pack a lot of fun and interest and photos in that with these little 4x6 albums. They all come with pages that have a flap already built into them, and then we like to create and just put our adhesive on the 3 edges so that you create a pocket for each of the page, and then you have all of these pullouts that come into here. Whoops, that's got a little sticky there. But you can go ahead and put a photo on here, and then you got all these different pull-out photo tags. And again, like I said, for 4x6, you can see how many photos you really can put into this great little 4x6 album. And that's our Fall Memories album. Let's look at Hello Fall. This is again, colors of the autumn and fall are just so pretty. So this is Hello Autumn. Now this is a 6x8 album, and it's one of our straight back spine albums. So the pages are scored and then they're adhered into the album. But each of these pages, they come already scored with a flap, and then we've added a flap onto each of the pages. Now we have made this self flap, and we call it a self flap because you are seeing both sides of your pattern paper as it's creating the flap. Now with this particular album of the Hello Autumn album, it is, the pages on this are craft, are your base pages, and it just kind of goes right along with this paper to have the craft pages. But it's really fun where you've got a flap and a flap and then your base page. And this is so pretty, being kind of like the watercolored graphics on this. Like again, I said the fall colors are just so warm and pleasing. And this makes a really nice album. And again, so you get the 6x8 album, you get the paper from Carta Bella, all the raffia, and full colored instructions. So as you can see, this is how this particular kit comes with, and the albums are shipped, or they're packaged separately. That way there's less damage of your paper kits because they can lay flat, and then the albums come packaged and they can sit on top of that. So there's Hello Autumn. For those of you that want to just give your neighbors or friends something just a little special, we have our our hot cider, a little holder, and this is great for all those individual packets of hot cider. So this particular one comes with the 4 different cards that you can flip, and then you've got a pocket there that you can pull out the apple cider from each of those pockets. If you want to just make some fall cards and a little project, we have our fabulous Fall Memories. This is taking one of our blanks, and this is again in the craft paper, but this is just one of the blanks. Now, if you order a package of our flap book blanks, you will get 6 of the flap book pages. So you could combine 2 or 3 of them to make albums, or you can just use them individually to make these fun little single albums. So this one is created where it opens and opens, and then we have created pocket pages with envelopes, and they all lift up. So it's just fun. Look at all those places that you have for if you're making your caramel apples, or you're going apple picking, or you've got some pumpkin spice latte. But then also, since they are envelopes, they automatically have a place there, the pockets, so that we can make these gift cards, recipe cards, or photo cards that can pull right out of each of those pockets. And it's just fun to take a little accent of the paper, as you can see, and put right along that edge to accent that recipe card. So again, that's a cute little fun flap book folio recipe card. And then with this particular kit, then you can make it thankful for maybe your teacher, thankful for something with the apples, a thanks, smile, grateful. So all great fall time cards, and then you can still make a couple of the little gift card enclosures. So that is our little fabulous fall card and album kit. Now, if we want to get into some Halloween things that we have from Graphics 45, their Boo collection. This is the 6x6 album, and it's just very sweet and cute, and it's kind of some vintage graphics on that. Another album for Halloween is the Boo Crew, and this is also the 6x8 album. So this album on the Boo Crew, it'd be this size of an album. The 6x8, and it's just fun showing just Halloween graphics with that. And again, the full colored instructions of your album, and your twine and tulle and everything that goes along with that. Oh, the Boo, on our just Boo album, this is a 6x6 album, straight back album. And again, as you can see, a flap and a flap, so there's lots of flaps to go along with that. Something that we have done for so long is our Circle Explosion books. And what this is just really fun. Now, this is a single one, and if you take it and you open it, it will pop open. And on this one, we have this little spider dangling there. So each, it's a spider, Happy Halloween. So this just kind of gives you a cute little 3D card to make. But then if you take and combine 4 of those sections, then you get this really fun 3D book that now when you go to make this, and you're making 4 different sections and embellishing them and decorating them, when you go to adhere your photo, you only want to put it down on one side so that it can bend and come up as this folds up. As you can see, that one kind of got bent in there. But if you take it and you put it and you only adhere the one side, then that will fold up. So you have Open If You Dare, great little circle exploding book there, and it just opens and stands up. The fun one for the kids, because you've got so much interactive and movement with that. And then so you've got 4 of them together, or if you do one, then you can create 4 different individual cards. Another just fall type album. This is the family album. Now this is a little different because this is just a ringed album, so it's put together with rings. We have our paper, we have the tags in there, you have the brads to attach your brads on. This one, we have adhered them down, but you can have the movement in the tags if you would like. And again, this is just a fall time family album. You're blessed, you're together, the blissful family, sometimes. Fall memories, happy harvest, just it's full of pockets and just images of the fall time. And that is our fall family time album. Again, just a more simple album that's a little quick and easy to create. Okay. So that just shows you a little bit of our fall type things that we have going on at Pinecone. But let's now take a look at our Fall is in the Air album. So for those of you, do you want to grab your kit? We're going to walk through so you can follow along with the instructions. of course, in a few minutes, we're not going to be able to complete the album, and that's why it's really nice on this tape. You can keep going back through over and over again and review that. So with this album, you have the album, and the binder mechanism is packaged inside the album. So this is when you're all through, this is your mechanism that you're going to put on. With this particular album, we wanted to pick up those fall colors, so we first went and painted the album around the edges. I'm just going to take this off so you can just kind of see how quick and simple. You want to just take, we're not, kind of a little messy, just with a foam brush and some acrylic paint, and this was a deep orange, and we just painted all around the edges, the inside, and the back spine here. Area here. Now, when we did that with that burnt orange, it seemed just a little too bright for our fall paper, and we wanted kind of a little feeling of distressed leaves. So then took a ink pad and with the sponge applicator and just kind of did it with a vintage photo over that to give it a little more mottled and distressed look onto our album. So in this kit, you are getting our album pages. You will be getting a couple sheets of the deep red cardstock. First, you want to go ahead, and depending on the front cover, how much layering that you want to do, because you do have a couple sheets. So you can just barely see it here. We did paint the album, so you want to get that painted in your burnt orange and let that sit for a little bit, so obviously so that it's dry. Then you can cut some of this deep red, and you're going to want to cut that 7 7/8 if you want to see just a little bit. So see, we're seeing that deeper burnt orange, then you are seeing the cardstock, and then we're going to be putting on one of our sheets of our from our 8x8 paper pad. So just slightly smaller than the album. The album cover itself is 8x8, so we are going 7, and you can go 7 15/16, and that would just be one tick before the 8 on your trimmer. Or you can go a little more if you wanted to see a little more of the deep red. Or here we have, like I said, just that hair. And then you're going to want to cut your fall paper at 7 3/4. And it shows that here in the instructions. So front cover paper is going to be 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. Go ahead and layer those two, put those on. Then we're creating this other graphics here where we have layered the paper a few different times. So you're going to want to cut for this front part here at 6 1/2 by 4 1/2 for the front cover. Actually, I'm saying this was 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. Then you're going to want to cut I'm going to lift this up so that you can see the little purple with the leaf pattern on that. That is going to be 6 1/2 by 4 1/2, so that you are cutting, or you're seeing just a little bit of that deep red. Then you're going to be seeing the purple. And again, in our instructions, it tells you here is your deep red for the front cover. Here's your purple for the that we're going to layer on. Then you're going to go to your 12 by 12 paper. And that is where the fall is in the air. Is going to come. So you're going to fussy cut, or just not fussy cut, but just cut out that graphic right there. And again, and if you want to matte that, or if you want to just ink the edges, as you can see here, but we have just matted that slightly. So we're just slightly larger than our 4 by 6 with this piece on here. And then we can matte our fall in the air. Before you adhere that down, then you want to take your twines and your tinsel twine and tie that around that and tie a bow. Then we want to do a fussy cut of our pumpkin. So if you will look on your 12 by 12 papers and you see this really nice image of that pumpkin, you can go ahead and fussy cut that pumpkin. And we show you right here in the instructions, the front cover, that's this piece here. So you'll fussy cut that, and you can go ahead and adhere that then with pop dots. Now it's up to you how many different layers of pop dots that you want here when you're doing this graphic. We created this and then we added a layer of pop dots. So this is popped up, and then we double pop dotted. Is that double pop dotted? The side of the pumpkin here, and then just put the single pop dots on this side so that it would raise it up and give it a little 3D look. Okay, we're ready to put our ribbons on the inside. So this is where you're going to take your pack of of ribbons, and you want to take the ones where you have the duplicate, and you will use a low temp heat gun, and you are going to, oops, those are the larger ones. This is the ones that we have the duplicate of the peach, the rust, and the green. And you want to heat these up. And I almost find it easier if I put them in a cardboard box, and then I can just heat them up. And as you heat them up, then you see they get this nice shriveled effect to it. Now, it's going to depend on how long you heat it up. The more you heat it, the more it shrivels. So if you want it to be really tight, then you're going to heat it up for a while. And if not, you can tell. As you're working on this, you just know it's like, yep, that's the look that I like. So you go ahead and heat those up. Then you want to adhere those down on the inside cover. And you want to do that on the front and on the back. And you want to secure them with some red line tape or some strong tape, packing tape or something, just so that when your album is done, you're tying these up, that they're not going to want to pull out. So they want to be securely in there. Okay, we got that done. Put our ribbons on our front, put our ribbons in the back. Then we're going to cover our paper, and let's go ahead and pull out from our 8x8. So now with this particular kit, you see, with your 12 by 12 papers, that's mostly where we have all of our images that we're going to accent our pages with and make our self flaps with. The one side of one of them is more of the journaling card, so you can cut them apart, so you can use that for journaling cards, or you could just put, a photo over it here, and you've got some really nice graphics. They're from Graphics 45. So all of your major page accents, they do come from the two 12 by 12 papers. Other than that, the rest of them we're pulling out from our paper pad, and we're going to then be doing our inside cover. Then when we have our page 1, now we've got this, so we want to create that self flap, so we're going to cut apart, and you can just go through right to begin with and cut apart all of the different icons and the graphics from these papers, because we are going to be using them all individually, and we're not creating any foldovers with these, so they can just all be cut apart to begin with. So then we're going to cut apart our autumn days. We're going to take, and we want to score 1/4 of an inch on the left hand or right hand side, depending on which way you're looking at it. And that is going to get adhered. Then, score 1/4 of an inch, go ahead and put some of your strong adhesive in that 1/4 inch area, and it is stuck to the back side of this pattern page before we put it onto our base page, so that this already flaps onto the pattern paper. And you've done it right if it will flap. Then when you've got that flapping on this first page, go ahead and adhere this onto one of the blank base pages. Oh, I forgot to say here, oops, on this one here, we created a fold over. So here on our instructions, we've got inside front cover, and that will create this fold over. Now, because you have 2 sheets of the deep red cardstock, if you want to make all of your little accent pieces as either fold overs or lift ups, depending on which way you cut it, you can go ahead and create all those and just make those as, like I said, either lift up or fold overs, depending on which way you want. Or you could just mat them with the deep red, and you don't have to worry about adding any more spaces for pages. Again, we're going to tie our tinsel twine on around before we add our photo to the page. Okay, page 2 is kind of the same thing. We're going to be creating that self flap with, again, one of the elements from our 12 by 12 paper. Adhere that on, put on your photos, and put that onto the back side of page 1. Creating the same thing with page 3, making that self flap. We can use that as journaling card there. What happened here is our falls in the air as we're jumping in our leaves, or whatever you happen to be doing and have your photos of. And then you want to add some of your shriveled up ribbon, and you want to just staple that on if you have a tiny attacher, which is, I think, truly one of the best ways to attach some of these ribbons on. And again, our page 4, page 5, page 6. Now, sometimes we just want to have the journaling card left, and it's got some, beautiful graphic on the other side, but this one we just wanted to use this as a really pretty journaling card. Then page 7 with the flap. Page 8, again, we created this into a fold over. Page 9, a self flap. Now this particular one, oops, do you know when I said you could cut it all apart? And I completely forgot. We took these three right here, and instead of cutting them apart individually, we cut this out as one long band and then scored and scored so that we could create a little accordion fold for that page. And I believe it is showing us right here, page 9. See, we're just leaving that all together as one large piece. There, page 9. Page 10, again, a flap. Page 11, a flap. Page 12, a little one. Now, because on your journaling cards, or some of those on these icons have the journaling, others are just the pretty leaf pattern. So on those, definitely it's just a great place to put areas for photo. Okay, our inside back cover. Gonna go ahead and cut a piece 4x8 and 4x8, adhere that onto our inside back cover. We're gonna do that after we have attached our ribbons. And again, adhere the upper back, your lower back, your pocket. We're gonna create a pocket, so you want to put your adhesive on the 3 edges there, and then go ahead and stick that down so that you could create some photo tags for there. Again, if you wanted to mat this in one of your deep red pieces, you certainly could. So then I have my album all finished. Oh, we can put this page back onto here because this is where that came from. But I just wanted to kind of show you how quick and easily that you can just paint that album. Like I said, and it was a little deeper, it was a little brighter orange. So then we just used our ink pad and just kind of toned that down a little bit of the bright orange. What's really fun about these albums is because they are such a heavy duty chipboard, is that if you didn't like the color that you painted them on, go ahead and paint over it or stain it or paint it multiple times. They will hold up because they are really stiff and stiff. Okay, I have my album completely finished and I'm ready to put in my binder mechanism. So then I have some industrial strength double stick tape. It's on this here. You're just going to pull that off. And then I'm going to count my ribs. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this is my center. And then I am going to center it from top and bottom, left and right. That's going to go ahead and get stuck right down there. Then I can open this up and go ahead and put my pages in here. Now that's, again, where you've got that template to cutting guide. So you're going to want to go ahead and punch your holes, obviously, before you put that in. And then you put your pages in, close up your mechanism, and you are set to go with your really beautiful fall album. So, okay, that was a quick time, wasn't it? So let's see, we went over a lot of fall projects and Halloween projects. Family recipe or fall recipe, pumpkin spice latte album. So there's a lot of fun things that we have that you can create fun items for your fall time. So go to pineconepressdesign.com and you, like I said, there you'll be able to find the fall is in the air, the pumpkin spice, the all of the different ones we had. If you want the Hello Autumn, we have the Boo, we have Boo Crew, we have our exploding box, circle exploding block, we have slider cards that's fall oriented, the apple cider holder. Now, if there is anything that's like, oh, I really like that, but I'm a stamper and I have so many fall stamps that I don't want the papers. Everything from Pinecone, you can always order just the blank only. And it is on the website under blanks. So if you see along the top header, blanks are right in the center where you've got that little like grid that you can click on blanks, it will pull up all of the blank items. So anything that you see in a size, if you want the 8x8 or the 6x8 or the 4x6 or the 2-inch spine or the 3-inch spine, it is all shown under there, under the blanks. So are the flat book blanks, the circle explosion book, the slider card blank. So everything is available just as a blank so that you can stamp your own or cover it with your own paper, because I know we all have such a stash of paper. So that just gives a preview of fun fall things, and we wish you well and thank you for joining us. Bye.